And welcome to Cat's Creations, where tonight I'm going to teach you a totally new design. I promised you last week that once I got all my supplies in that we would go forward with a totally new design, so I cannot wait to share this one with you. So before I get started, I'd like to welcome you to my page, but not only that, I would like to invite you to like and follow the page. Liking and following is critical for, us in the small business world who are running our business online. But also it allows you to be notified when we go live. So if you haven't taken the opportunity to do so, please make sure that you do. And then if you're going to, and I think you will, once the video is finished, well, not when it's finished, if you want a copy of this video to be made available to you, just click the share button down below. It'll share this video to your page, where super easy to find it rather than digging through mounds and mounds of posts that are currently here. Or you can head over to my YouTube channel. It is at Cat's Creations and More, the letter N and More. And you can binge watch a ton of videos that are there. So let's get started. I'm going to pivot you down and let me go ahead and do this. To make sure our transition is somewhat smooth. Looks like we're right on target. So we're going to be using the bunny frame. I just got this in. Our Dollar Trees locally here did not have these available. So I had to order these from the Dollar Tree. So when you do that, you have to order a case. And I think a case is 24 is what the number is. And there's just so many different design ideas that I'm sure I will probably have 24 different designs for this. So welcome to those of you guys that are joining me. Hi Pam, hi Kelly, hi Valerie, hi Nancy. Yes, we are loving our home. Right now it's currently snowing outside, so I'm going to try to get through this video before our satellite gets too full of snow. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover this in a chenille chunky style yarn, and I prefer the ones from Michaels. This is a Bernat, B-E-R-N-A-T, chunky yarn. I see you, Carol. And we're going to go ahead and wrap the outside of our design. I'm going to start right here. So the easiest way to do this is just to tie it on. So I'm going to go kind of around here, and I'm just going to do a single tie just like so. Okay, so now this is going to get pretty crazy. We have to kind of rough estimate about how much yarn we're going to need, because we can't stuff a yarn this big through the rabbit ear holes and through the center holes. So I'm just kind of gauging roughly about how much do I think I need. If we have to come back and splice, we'll come back and splice. But now once we have this, we can go ahead and it's so much easier just to grab and pull. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously we're going to start wrapping the wreath. And when I pick the chunky style yarn, I pick it for a reason, because number one, you don't have to wrap so much, and it's a lot thicker. But I want to caution you, don't wrap too tightly and don't wrap too loosely. So you want to just keep a nice even tension around this frame, just like so. We're doing white. There's a reason why. You'll see it once we start adding some of the embellishments, you'll kind of understand the reason why. But you can do these in any color. I think the chunky yarn, I've seen it in beige. I've seen it in black. We're just doing white. So I'm just kind of holding it and keeping a nice even tension right on here. I noticed that these frames are a tendency to be a little on the wonkier side. So we're going to bypass his ears. Okay, we're just going to keep going all the way around, which is why I needed to kind of shave that off the main big bulk one so that it's easier to pick it up and toss it through. We want it nice and thick and furry, and then we'll come back and we'll do his ears. So this one's going to get kind of interesting. We need to feed that through that opening. Technically it's not. We can just go like this, up and over, and then through his ears. That'll just make that process so much easier. I think I'm going to do twice through his ears, just so he has a nice, good, solid base. Carol says, I sold the house in Orlando. Wow. Let me, I got this stuck. Needs to go through my ears. So, where did you move, Carol? Did I miss that? Let me look. A small town. So you go to Tallahassee. Yeah, my Dollar Tree, my local Dollar Tree didn't really have anything. I missed that about being at my home Dollar Tree because they had a lot of stuff. They were a very dirty store though. But the one that is within 30 minutes of us here, they really don't carry an awful lot, but it's a really clean store. Okay, so we're just wrapping nice and tight. And the reason why not too tight, like I said, is we want to make sure that our chenille yarn doesn't separate so that you can see the frame through the yarn. I know that sometimes when we wrap them, we might not wrap them thick enough, or maybe we are going a little thin because we're afraid we're going to run out. Okay, I think that this will be the right amount. I was trying to stop at the bottom because he's actually going to get added to a, what do we call it? A 14-inch Dollar Tree frame. So I've already done that. So my whole thing was I need to get him to where he sits on here really, really good. But I think I'm just going to wrap the whole thing just so that it's, because I don't want to see the frame from the back. Like if I just stopped there and just attached the frame to my Dollar Tree frame, I'd see the frame on the back. So sometimes I'm just as picky at what the back looks like as what the front looks like. We're almost done wrapping this one. So I just did the 14 the same way. I just wrapped the whole thing nice and even because we're going to use the 14-inch frame for his body. Obviously this is his head. Coming up on finishing this last place in here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my hot glue right in here on my frame. Going to add a little dab right there. I'm going to wrap that up and over. And then I need to clear it right here on the frame as well. So right there. Just so we can go up and over. And he's all nice and soft and fuzzy. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off there. We are going to tag it right there. So as you can see, I went all the way around. And we'll pull that through. And once that dries, we'll go ahead and cut that piece off. Let's grab a clip just to hold that in place while we get his ears done. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start his ears. Do the same thing. We're going to rough guesstimate about how much yarn we're going to need, just because it's easier to rough it than not have enough or try to wrap the whole thing all the way around, I'm going to slide this down. I'm going to go ahead and put a dab of glue right here so that I can slide that down, because I don't want any separation between it and as we wrap his ears. So you have two options. You can wrap the ears as solid pieces, or you can just wrap the edges, and that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to add to his ears. We're going to give some definition to his ears. So now I'm going to do this, and we're just going to wrap this all the way around. Same thing. Don't skimp on your materials. Just make sure that it's nice and thick. We don't want to see the frame. Nor do you want to like patch it with a ton of glue to try to, you know, fill in the gaps. Which is why I tagged it with the glue, so it doesn't spin it all the way around. So have you guys made the bunny frames yet? All of you guys have, like, so Stephanie says, I saw someone use the egg form. Yes, absolutely, you could do that. There are so many different variations, and I love that, because I had so many people when these came out, they were like, what can we do with them? And I'm like, I don't know, let's just wait and see what other people come up with. Other than, you know, now we're starting to see, hey, we could wrap them in twine, we can wrap them in yarn, we can wrap them in flex tubing. So we want to make sure that this is nice and plush. And up and around. See why this difference, or this makes all that difference, is we don't want, and that's all I'm doing, just wrapping the ears. So nice and plush, because I don't want, I found that if you add glue to the yarn when it dries, it kind of makes it hard and crunchy. And I don't want hard and crunchy. I want soft and furry. And here we go. And his ears do have a gap, so they are not wired together. Whoop. And if we have enough, we'll just go right to the other side with this one. I don't know. I don't think so. But I'm a bad estimator of use the extra. Okay, we're going right through the middle. I'm just trying to get that in and around the other ear. Trying to get that down in between. They're pretty tight in there. A little snug. This is a great craft for kids to do. So once you get it started for them, you can have them just wind it all around the frame. And it goes fairly quickly. This is my first time doing it. I haven't built one and then attempted to do that. I wish I would have, because then I'd know exactly what works, what doesn't work, where to stop, where to start. I think we got two more. So we want to make sure that we've covered that little gap right there. We don't want any gaps around his ears. Okay, so that's how his ear is, nice and fluffy. I'm going to wrap this around, and all I'm going to do is go back through. We're going to go around the other ear. So it's a tight fit. But we can do it. So you can see how quickly it goes. And we've got both of his ears almost completely done. So this project allows you to you're just going to go around a lot more times. It'll have a different outcome, like a different look. But there's nothing that says you have to use chunky style. I just find it's easier. So we don't have to go around so many different times. So I guess I estimated pretty good, right? There we go. And you can see I'm just holding it in my hand so that I keep an even tension as we finish this up. This is probably the longest part of the whole video, is just winding all this on, which is why I already pre-wrapped the 14-inch one, so you didn't have to wait for us to do that. Almost finished. Coming through, just about finished. So one more. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to really push it up right here so we can get a nice firm even piece. We'll trim that off. I'm going to just pull it up so that we can get our end secured. Wrap it up. We're going to wrap it around, and then I'm going to unclip this one, and we're going to clip this until that dries here. We're going to go ahead and trim off that last little piece, just like so, and we're going to trim this off, and we're all set. So we've got a complete rabbit, wrapped both ears. Now we need to attach our 14-inch frame to this one. So this is, I wanted it more oval. Let me move this out of the way. There we go. So now we're going to attach the two together. So the way that I'm squishing it together, I can actually get a pretty good grip on here. I'm going to flip it over because we want to do it from the back. Got white zip ties. These are 6-inch zip ties. We're going to try to get it to the second rung. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're trying to get this through the second one as well. So the first thing I did is just make sure I have them in both places. I'm going to zip tie it nice and tight so that the one comes up and over the other. Okay, snap that off. We're going to need to do it in a couple places. That's the only way you will prevent it from moving. We're trying to get our zip tie through. Again, I'm trying to get it around the second one. You've done such a great job at wrapping our chenille yarn. Okay, I'm just going to put that one in place. Going down here. coming up here. Zip tie. And so far we're so good. So in order to stop the head from tilting, we need to add in a couple more zip ties between those second frame to second rail. And then also when we attach the bow, which is going to be right at the nape of the neck, that's going to help. See, we're firming that up a little bit more. We're going to go down in here. And then back to our second frame, or second ring. You need the second ring to the second ring to prevent the movement. You need it to prevent it from sliding. Didn't quite snip it all the way through. Okay, now we've got our rabbit who's ready for us to embellish. Okay, do you guys have any questions so far on this? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start working on our rabbit. So, couple options. So if you notice, his ears at the widest point is about almost 4 inches. So if you have 4-inch wide ribbon, you could put the 4-inch wide ribbon on the back and just attach that. Obviously, I only have 2.5-inch ribbon, so it's not enough to go all the way through, but I'm going to show you what we can do in the interim. You could take felt, you can cut felt, and then attach this to the backside. For some reason, after we moved to this house, I cannot find my felt stash. It's like the only thing, along with extra tissue paper rolls, I haven't been able to find. So we are going to do it the simple way. I guess I should have done this beforehand. Let me grab another frame so that we can get, meaning they don't have words on them like this. See, like one side would work, but there's words on the other side. So clean means, in my opinion, there's nothing on either side. So what we want to do is we're going to create a template. All right, Kat, where'd you put your pen? So we're going to go like this. I'm measuring the inside of his ears because we need to fill the inside. Making a template. We're going to cut this out. If you have a box cutter, it'll work much smoother. You could use foam core, like the foam boards that, you know, our kids used to do science experiments on, or what do they call them? Science projects, the trifold boards. You could use poster board. I just wanted something that kind of had some stiffness to it. So there is his ear. So you have to kind of make sure that you know which ear is which. I'm going to trim that off. So we did this for this ear, and then I did one for the opposite ear. So remember, mine went here. So what I managed to do is I managed to find pink fabric that's in the same pastel ballpark that I wanted. And I starched it out really well. And what we're going to do is, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around my fabric. You could be super simple. Let's move the bunny out of the way. You could take your rotary cutter, which is what I did the first time, and just leave a gap. And then leave a gap. And leave a gap. Just like so. And it doesn't have to be super perfect because we're just going to be using that to glue our fabric on. Okay, set that to the side. My glue gun's on. It's on hot. But we need to make sure that we are gluing. Remember how we did our template? There's a front and a back. So this was our front. Okay, and it's going to go just a touch in. Why did I not go from the outside is because remember we wrapped the fur around the rabbit's ears, so it's actually a little thicker on the inside. So this is my front. So I'm going to place my front face side down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take glue, and we're going to take hot glue, and we're going to go about halfway up. And I'm going to take my fabric, and I'm going to just push and pull that fabric forward, just like so. Okay, same thing. We're going to push and push your fabric up. When we get to the point, we're just going to fold that end over. So I've got that side going good. We're going to go right over the top, about halfway down. We're going to take and fold and push and keep. You're trying to pull the other side as snug as possible, so don't worry about this side. So same thing, push. And my glue gun is set on low, so that's why I can take my finger and really just stick it in the glue. And I'm just pushing it forward. And then we're going to do the same thing at the bottom. We're going right across the bottom. And then we're going to take that tip and we're going to fold that up. Just like so. Okay. So when we flip it back over, we have a nice smooth inside for our bunny's ear. Okay. So you can come back in if you're overly particular and trim this up if you want. I'm not going to worry about this. So what we're going to be doing is, let's see, what type of rotary blade do I use, Linda? This is a Fiskars, so it's the smaller one. I have the Fiskars big one, but I like the smaller blades. They just seem to stay, whatchamacallit, they stay sharper, longer. Okay, so as you can see, this is going to create a backdrop for our bunny's ear. So I'm going to flip that over. And we are going to just go right along the edge here, right along the edge, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. Whoop. I knew I was going to do that. The way I was holding it, I was like, I am running into a risk of potentially doing that. And this is our bunny's backside, I can tell. So that's our front. We're going to take this, we're going to lay this right over the top, just like so. Because remember, we did his his right ear. His right ear first. So we want to make sure that stays right in place. I already have the other one done, so you guys don't have to watch me do it twice. Same thing. I'm going to move it forward. And we're going right along the edge. Same thing here. Okay. We're going to pick this up. Yeah, I was going to do that too. Flip it over, place it right on top, and then go ahead and let that stick in there, just like that. So all I've done is add 2 back pieces to his ears. Okay. When we flip him over, now our bunny has gorgeous inside ears. Let's remove the glue threads. So all nice and pretty, just like so. Okay. So the bunny looks great. Now we need to kind of dress him up a little bit. So here's the thing. Dollar Tree has these things out now. Check that out. They are felted, what are they? Printed felted bunny paws. So they are what are going to be his feet on our design. It's kind of like he's sitting face forward, and he's got his feet up, so you can see the bottoms of his feet. So you lay them out whatever way you want, but I decided to take that up a whole nother notch, which is, let's find a little scrap of our yarn. Right here. So what we're going to do, see, look at how adorable that is. For his feet, right? So the Dollar Tree just came out with these this year. That's in their new craft section. Okay. So we're going to add feet, but before we add the feet, I'm going to add some more detail to it. So we are going to take our chenille yarn and we're going to outline his feet so that his fur matches his feet. So it looks like it's a complete connection point. So again, right along the edge of our felt. And you'll see what this looks like. It looks amazing by the time you're done. And we just want the edge of our yarn to touch right on here. We're going to go up, over, around, and down. Okay. So it makes his feet look like feet and not like a little piece of felt that we kind of just glued on there. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go all the way around. And we're going to end it there. So again, just barely take the ends of your chenille yarn and just make sure it's just lightly tapping the edge right there all the way through. I got a piece of green lint in there. Where did green come from? We're going to trim that up. We're going to tack that down so that those 2 pieces feel like they're all one. Okay, just like so. Okay, so I've already done it to the other side. So now when we add his feet, look at the difference between his feet with a yarn outline versus the non-yarn outline. So this just looks so much better. It kind of looks like he goes together and like we paid extra detail to this. Anna, did you order the bunny head frame from the Dollar Tree? Yes, I did. So, because our Dollar Tree just didn't carry them and everybody was asking me, when are you going to show us how to do a bunny wreath? And I'm like, I can't find the frames. And so someone sent me the item number for the frames. So I just went on Dollar Tree and just ordered a case. because sometimes you can only order like 4, which would have been great, but on this one I was stuck with a whole case, and I was like, oh, but I want to make a whole bunch of different ones. So now we're going to go ahead and glue his feet on. So kind of figure out what you like on his feet, where you want them to be, and then we are going to, because we're not going to glue all of it, we're only going to glue where it attaches to the bottom of our yarn. And so I have that sitting right in here. So there's one, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side, flipping this over, and it basically goes just right down through the bottom, just like so. Make sure you have his feet on straight, just like that. And now he's got feet, right? So the package that you get from the Dollar Tree comes with 10 of them. So you have in the package enough to make 5 bunny wreaths, right? And I tried to get the pink as close to the pink in his feet, but I mean, you got to work with what you have sometimes. So now we're going to make a super simple bow for it. And then believe it or not, we're done. We're not going to do anything else. I'm not going to, you know, worry about, like, this is where I've got to talk to some of our wreath designers, because if the wreath sign makers could make like a face small enough, we could add faces to these bunny wreaths, right? Okay. So that's about as centered as I can possibly get him, I think. He's actually 31 inches long. He is, let's see, he is 16 inches at his widest, and he's going to be storm door friendly. But guess what? On this particular design, we want to make sure, move it down a little bit. It's going to be hard to get it to fit in the whole overhead cam. I've got it about as far down as it'll possibly go. So the interesting thing is when I put him up on the door, you'll be able to see the entire bunny. So that's what he looks like for now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and build his bow for the center. So this one's going to be a little bit different. So we're not going to do it like we normally do our ribbon. We're going to do some really cute, whatchamacallit, marshmallow peep bunny ribbon. So the first thing I want to do is I want to dovetail the end first before we can start looking and deciding, hey, how long does it need to be? Because we want to keep the ends fairly short. We don't want the bow to become so big that the bunny becomes lost in the midst of that. So I'm pretty comfortable with that for the length of my longest bow. So let's look at that on the cutting mat and figure out, it's about 7 inches, which is good. So we're going to go 7 inches in, okay? We're going to do the thing called, you'll see it here in a second. I'm going to twist. We're going to go about, let's see. I'm just kind of eyeballing this one right now. Let's see if 5 inches will be wide enough. Let me look. So if he's here, oh, it's going to look so cute. Okay, so 7 inch for the tail. We're doing 5 inch for his loop, right? We're going to go ahead and do another loop. Another 5 inch loop. And I'm bringing it always back to the 10, stretching my ribbon out and making sure, where does that line up? Okay, so we're going to make another loop. Same size as this one. And we're going to do one more. This is a 4 looper. Okay, but these are all 5 inch loops with 7 inch tail. And this ribbon is from Craft Outlet, if they have it in stock. So dovetail edges you bring your wired edges together. You're going to cut from the folded side down to the wired point. That was a sloppy one. Eeks. There went my wire. There we go. Okay. So got that one in. Now we are going to make sure that stays in there. Let's see. I think I want to keep them like in a couple different shades. So we're going to go with the yellow. I kind of like the yellow with the polka dots. And this is from Michael's. This is 1.5 inch ribbon. So we are going to do 6.5 inch for our tail. We're bringing it up a little bit smaller. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a set of 4 tails or 4 loops. So these were 5. We're going to do 4.5 inch. So stretching it out, making sure it winds up on 4.5. Measure both sides, and then you can do the little cheat, which is once you've measured them, I'll show you. So right there's 4.5 on both sides. So in order for me to get 4.5 on the other side, you just put your finger in the bottom loop and then one in the top and just pull until your top loop is the same length as your bottom loop. Just like that. Bring it in. And we go back out 6.5 inches. Okay. Out of view. Can't see the bow. Okay, let's move the bow over. Let's see. Let's move the camera slightly up. There we go. And let's zoom in. Okay. So we've got that. We're going to add one more. I'm going to take this pink. The pink with the diagonal print. So I got to move the bunny over. Dovetail. Wired edges together from the fold to the wired point. This time we're going to do 3 or 4. Let's do 2, and then we'll do the other ribbon in a 2. So let's get these to 4. So making sure they're 4 inches. So we're going to do a 2 and then another 2. Okay, we're right at 4, and then we said 6 inches out. And then we're dovetailing, and then we'll do that little pastel print. Okay. So all the ribbon, except with the exception of the yellow with the polka dots, are all from Craft Outlet. The polka dot one, that was from, actually this is from Hobby Lobby, not Michael's, in 2016. If you can believe that. Nancy says, where's Steve been? He is actually still at work. He now has a job where he doesn't work from home. So we're praying that God changes that. So he's still, and he works 3 hours away from home, which is a killer. So we're doing 5.5 inches. And then we're going to do a 3.5 inch loop. So really baby small. And he's not a commuter. There's some people who really enjoy driving to work. I used to do it, but he's just doing it for now while he completes his training, and then hopefully he'll be able to be at home a little bit more. So, and then he's so busy right now with his job that I changed my schedule, which is why I don't go live at 5 anymore. This way it gives me time to make sure dinner's ready. before he gets home. Things are cleaned up. And with Starlink, their busy time is right at 5. So if I can keep my lives under that, we're good to go. So I did see somebody ask the question, what did I use on the inside of the bunny ears? It's just pink fabric glued to cardboard. So this is going to be a big bow. Lots of ribbon. So we're going to fluff on the bunny. So we're going to add this right to our bunny because we know where all the pipe cleaners are. We know where our center is. I'm just trying to move my yarn and get the ribbon out of the way at the same time. Oops. Okay. There's my chenille stem. And then I'm going to go over slightly, pull that down. I think I want this one down a little further. So I'm just kind of making a hole. This is where I could use my, whatchamacallit, yarn needle. Okay, so I'm going to pull that nice and tight. And then we're going to go ahead and pull all the tails down. Okay, it's got a really full bow. So I'm just fluffing from the bottom up. Remember, there's 2 tails, so, and 2 loops. So we're just going to separate and move those down. And then the same thing, move our tails down. Move our loops apart. Do the same thing here. Always pull our tails down. And then we'll fluff everything else. Okay, let's start putting some curls in that. Let's start moving some things around. If you like, you can actually move some of your ribbon tails in to your design, which is something you guys don't normally see me do. Just like so. I'm going to move this one over so that my loops kind of fall right in side of this one. This will come up. We've got to get down and open that loop. Let's get that one. It's a little twisted. Okay, look at our little bunny. Look how adorable he is. I'm going to push him all the way down as far as I can. I'm hoping that'll show you what it looks like. Let me look. Okay. Isn't he stinking cute, Linda? I love it. It's just adorable. You could add some colored eggs in the inside or add some florals. I just think that it makes such a whimsical piece. Imagine, like, there are a couple uses for these, right? Put it on a child's door. It looks adorable. You could use it in a classroom for the holidays as a classroom decor piece. You could put little bows up here if you wanted to make it a little female bunny, like, let's see. Let's make a quick bow real quick. Let's get a really nice dovetail on that first. So we've done these in the past. I'm going to use a really small little tail. So this is going to be like a baby hair bow. So I'm just hand tying this one. Make it a little bit bigger, please. A little bit bigger. There we go. We're gonna twist. Let's try this and see if this works. You can make little hair bows, you know, for your baby bunny if you want. Dovetailed end. This is just a really quick hand-tied bow. Let's make sure these are the same. A little bit too long, which is not a problem. Shorten that up. But we could do an adorable little, I'm just going to kind of set that there so you can kind of see. You can make a cute little individual bow for the rabbit on the top. You could add some cute little florals up here if you wanted to do like springtime bunny. It's entirely up to you. We do need to add a hanger. So this is going to be customer preference on what and how they want to hang the bunny. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. I think it's cute. So I just need to make sure my twists are twisted so my bow don't come undone. And then I'm just going to come right in here and we're just going to add. There is our pink bow. And we'll do another one. It gets stuck on all the fibers from the chenille yarn. Right here. So I'm going to flip this over so you can see the other side. Okay. So, a couple options. You can put a hanger here. You could put a hanger in the center. So, this is what I would do because it depends on how people want, how far down do they want him hung. So, let's go ahead and take this one off and we'll add a hanger between the ears. So, and then this way I can show you what does that look like when you have two different hangers. So we're going to go right in here. There we go. There's one. So let's make sure this one. I am of the preference that I don't like to see the hanger. Yes, you could add, Cheryl, you could add an egg in the center. I thought about doing that and then I was like, I could add a carrot. You can add eggs, you can add butterfly, you could add whatever your bunny wants. This could even be, depending upon the ribbon choices, it could just be a spring bunny. It could be a bunny for a nursery. So I've attached two different hangers, one on the low, one on the high. Neither one of them show from the other side. Let's fluff this and then I'll show you what it looks like on the door. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tilt you guys up. Being tight. I'm going to attempt to push this all the way up to make sure you guys are level. Okay, so I'm going to take this one down. We're going to put our pink bunny up. Let's make sure this stays over here. And our bunny. So, option number one, hanging in between his ears. This is Ixnay the hook. I just did that so I can push him all the way back so you can see. But there is bunny hung at the ear in between the hook at the ear height. It depends on your door, right? It depends on what they have. So you can also, this one goes a little higher. Hang tight. Get that all the way in. And I'm seeing like a glue thread right there. There is a little higher. I think I would have a tendency of probably hanging him from the neck holder. But that's to show you how wide he is and how long. This is on a normal 36-inch outdoor door. So what you're seeing, it just depends. Like, do you want him to hang lower than, or do you want him to hang taller than? I think for me, my preference was back down here into our, the other, and hang him a little bit lower. That way his ears don't feel like they're gonna kind of go past the door. But that's the bunny wreath. That's how you can make them. Most of the supplies, except for the yarn and the ribbon, came from Dollar Tree. So if you missed any portion of this video, you can go back and rewind the video and watch it from the very beginning. I'll show you everything on how to put it together. The only thing I did not show you is how to wrap the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame, but I don't think you need to see that. You can just assume we're going to wrap that the same way we wrap the bunny head. And that's pretty much about it. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this design? Are you going to make this design? I can't wait to do one in black. I want to do a black and white bunny. So, this one's super cute. So it is available in my shop at catscreationsandmore.com if you guys would like to purchase it. Like I said, it's 31 inches from the bottom to the top of his ears, 16 inches at his widest point, and then he is storm door friendly, so you can actually put him in a storm door. The caution that I have on this one is because it is made from yarn, that this is not suitable for rain, ice, snow, heavy wind, stuff like that. It's going to last a lot longer if you keep it inside or keep it protected under a covered porch or patio where it's not going to get any wetness to it, because once that yarn gets wet, it's going to sag and it's not going to shrink back into the shape that it was. So, all right, guys, well, that's another one down, and come join me on Thursday, if you guys are able to, Thursday at 11 Pacific, which is 1 Central, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to show you how to do a pancake wreath for Easter, and you guys are going to love this one too. So I hope you guys will come back and join me. Other than that, I will talk to y'all later. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye for now.